Peace, family. It's your brother Chase back at you again with another reactionary video. And check it out, man. This week we got another sassy African talking crazy about foundational Black Americans. This time they're blaming us for the South African musician Tyla flopping in her music sales this week. Okay, so they're blaming us, and she's going to be wagging her finger, cursing us out, telling us about ourselves. So this always should be interesting, family. With that being said, let's go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's jump straight into it and get some straightening going on for educational purposes only. You dig?
You guys don't really have a real problem with Tyla. Y'all just hate the simple fact that she's an African. She loves the fact that she's an African, and she's not denouncing her Africanness in order to fit in with you guys.
Oh Lord, hold on. Let's slow cook this, family. Let's put the eye on low. Let's put the eye on low and let's slow cook this. Okay, so we don't have a real problem with Tyla. We're just hating on her because she's a proud African. This is the delusion they make up in their mind, okay? And it highlights a significant problem that runs rampant in the diaspora and why Pan-Africanism is failing. Because we're not allowed to even express our problems with the diaspora as Black Americans without getting demonized, without being told, oh, you don't really have a problem. You're just hating. You're xenophobic. But let's address that. We're hating on Tyla. What is there to hate on? In order to hate on somebody, you have to have something to hate on. Okay, let's be clear. What has Tyla done that we haven't already done as Black Americans or paved the way for her to do? Please answer that in the comment section for the people who are going to come running in. Oh, you're hating on Tyla. Okay, what has Tyla done that we haven't already done or paved the way for her to do? Okay, well, we're hating on a one-hit wonder? Let's be real. Tyla at this point in 2025 is pretty much a one-hit wonder. Her claim to fame was Water. That was her big song. And ever since then, it's been okay. What are we hating on? You dig? She's coming into the Black American market. She's trying to get Black American influence. She's coming to America. We're not going to Tyla. They got this whole thing mixed up. They act like we're trying to be friends with Tyla, and we're not. Okay? You dig? So what are we hating on? Remember, this is the same girl. Let me play this clip. This is the same girl that she's basically saying that her management hasn't given her a budget for her hairstylist. Okay, so she's doing her own hair. Tyla's low-key struggling. Low-key. You did? Let me play that clip.
Get ready with me for my show in Barbados. Listen, guys, I like my makeup. I've styled my own hair because the budget. So I have to.
Okay, all right. So they ain't gave her no budget, so she out there doing her own hair on tour. Okay, that's what we hating on. We hating on that. Lord, sister don't even got no budget to do her hair, and that shows the fallout that she's had with foundational Black Americans. Because see, the label's like, we not gonna invest all this money in you. Yeah, we'll go take you on tour X, Y, and Z, but we're not gonna invest all this money into you because they're not really feeling you like that. So, like I said, we're always demonized every time we want to point out an issue that we're having with other people in the diaspora who are coming here and being disrespectful, who are coming here and being dismissive of our cultural norms and practices. But let's be clear. When foundational Black Americans go to other places, they always are pointing out issues with us. Okay? You remember when our good FBA sister Beyonce went to Africa to shoot Black is King. Oh, all the Africans had an issue with that. Why are you showing Africans like this? Why are you showing Africans? They always find an issue with us. They're never called xenophobic when we go to their homelands and we try to bring light to them and they find an issue with it. They're over there really hating. Remember our brother Meek? He went to Ghana maybe a couple years ago. Meek was out there getting pickpocketed and robbed. Okay, Meek went out there. He was invited to the president's house and shot a music video in there. Shot a piece of a music video. They were mad about that. Oh, this nigga has no respect. He has no respect. Okay, they got mad about that. Even our brother Snoop Dogg. I remember back about a decade ago when I was young. I was in high school then, but I remember when Snoop Dogg did that reggae album. and he was kind of collaborating with some Jamaican artists and reggae artists, and they were kind of they were talking about, I hope he doesn't commercialize reggae and Rastafarian culture, because he changed his name to Snoop Lion for a time being to drop that reggae album, and they were on him about that. They were calling him out. They were out here making threats and X, Y, and Z. So they always have issues when we try to do anything dealing with their home country, especially when it leads to money or commercialization. All right. Our brother Michael B. Jordan. You dig? Our brother Michael B. Jordan tried to do that rum line that took on Juve, took on a Caribbean name. Oh, they were mad about that. See, they're allowed to quote unquote check us and tell us, hey, no, you're not going to profit off our culture. But the moment someone comes here looking to get a Black American audience, looking to break ground in America, they can do and say whatever they want, and we're not allowed to say nothing. No, we're not doing that no more. But let's continue, because this is going to be a slow cook. This is going to be a long video. Let's continue. Let's see what else she got to say.
Because what we often see, especially as Africans, is whenever our artists are trying to break into the American bubble, they'll come up with this fake American accent. They'll come up with this fake abroad personality that they've never had, just to try and fit in. And they really do suck Americans' asses just to really get in the line to be able to buy bread.
Okay, and that's what the real issue is. Baby, you got misplaced anger. This all this is. Baby, you got misplaced anger. See, they're mad at us because their top talent, their quote-unquote top talent, they always got to leave them. They can never, their top talent can never really just make it over in their homelands and be satisfied. They always, the sole goal is always to get over here and get that cool stamp of Black Americans. Let's be clear. They want that Black American cool stamp. When Black Americans stamp you as cool, you're automatically one of the biggest things. You dig? You're automatically global. If we stamp you as cool, your Asian market opens up. Your Australian market opens up. Your European market opens up. You instantly become global. Okay, you instantly become a household name because we are the cool kid makers. We decide who sits at the cool table. And a lot of them feel a certain type of way about that. But it's ironic. I find it ironic that she's getting on us and she's getting mad at her people for doing this, when this young lady who goes by the name Cyber Hottie, she's over there, she's living in Ireland trying to emulate us. What do you mean by that, Chase? Let me play a little clip. This is her. Okay, fair use, by the way, fair use, YouTube.
Yeah, how you fucking on a nigga that ain't got no motion?
This is her, family. She's over there in Ireland trying to be a rapper.
Fuck with you on Yola, get you a promotion. Every day we making bread like it's a devotion. When we walking through your hood, we cause a commotion. I'ma put it on their face, yes, I'm braggadocious. And he breaking out the scared cause she's so ferocious. I met a single bitch like me, all these hoes atrocious.
All right, family. Okay, so while she sits up here and talks about how she hates when Africans go to America and we're the ones, Black Americans are really hating on them and how they're proud Africans. Every time they get an opportunity, every time you look up, they're trying to emulate us. You dig? They're cosplaying as us. She talked about how, they get over there and they try to do these American accents. Are you not trying to do an American Black accent right now? You dig? Is she not trying to use the lingo of foundational Black Americans? She's trying to sound like, really, she's trying to emulate a FBA gangster rapper, a hood rapper. You dig? She's trying to talk like that. You dig? Her accent is completely different in this video than it is when she's just regular talking. Okay, family. See, a lot of misplaced anger, a lot of jealousy, family. See, even though they hate us, they have to emulate us to be cool. That's what they view as cool. That's why they always want our attention. You dig? They always want our attention because they have to emulate us to be cool. So it's misplaced anger, family. But let's continue because she's going to go deeper. She's going to go deeper.
But Tyla is not doing that. She came out and she said, I'm South African and I'm colored. Y'all gonna have to deal with it. And she didn't even put it in those terms. She didn't even say it like that. She was actually being very nice. If I was her, I would have been like, I'm African and what? Suck my ass.
Oh, Lord, ma'am, you potty mouth. You potty mouth. You have a big potty mouth problem. Big potty mouth problem. And that's why y'all are in the condition that you're in. Okay? You have no respect for our culture. You have no respect for your own culture because you claim to be so pro-African and then you're over there trying to emulate us in your off time. You're trying to get your failed rapping career popping. And that's why you and Tyla, you're in the same boat. You're in the same condition. Okay? Both of y'all are flopping and fleeing. But let's continue.
Because it don't make no sense that you guys want someone to change the way they've identified themselves with for their whole lives just to fit in with you guys. That don't make no sense. Because when we Africans tell y'all that, oh, the African and African American is not by decoration. Y'all Africans too. Y'all want to say, I'm not from Africa. I'm not from Africa. I don't know what country in Africa I'm from, so I'm not African. I'm just black.
This is a projection, family. We're going to cook, though. Let's let her continue.
See how y'all don't like when someone tells you to identify with something that you have no idea what that is? Why y'all trying to do the same thing to this girl? Ever since she's put it out there, yeah, stop liking her. Because before that, it was, oh, she should come to America. She should make pop. She should call up with so-and-so. Now that she's not willing to negate who she is just to fit in with y'all don't like her no more? Oh, okay.
All right, family, let's address the gaslighting and this reverse engineering of events. No one ever told Tyla she had to identify as anything. No one ever tells you you need to identify as anything. Honestly, we don't care. We're just telling you what we're going to support and what we're not going to support. And that's all right. You want to call yourself colored. You want to use that word unapologetically. You want to say it with your whole chest. Cool. Let your community support you. And we see the support that she's getting from her community. We saw her sales. Okay, see, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. We saw them sales. Number two, she's doing what a lot of these folks are trying to do now. They want to use this example. They love to act like, oh, when we were calling ourselves African American, they were supporting it. Oh, they were trying to tell us, yeah, you really an African. No, you weren't. You were over there when we were calling ourselves African Americans. Y'all were over there talking about what country in Africa you really from. Try to make it seem like we're the ones who saying, hey, man, oh, what? I don't know what country in Africa I'm from. Nobody ever used to say that. Because once upon a time, a long time ago, one of my ancestors might have been from Africa. Okay? Y'all were the ones saying, oh, what country you're from? Where are you really from? You have no culture. Y'all were saying that. Now she's trying to reverse engineer it and act like we're the ones always been trying to distance ourselves. Okay, see, a lot of them are feeling that heat and they need to claim us. So now they have to reverse engineer what really happened. And number three, man, wasn't nobody ever begging Tyla to come to no damn America. Tyla's a one-hit wonder at this point, family. We begging a one-hit wonder to come collab with us? Stop it. Do y'all understand how many great musicians and artists we have over here? If we're going to collab with a Tyla came here. Tyla came to us. We didn't come to Tyla. We didn't go over to South Africa. Let's be clear. So stop all this. Oh, you running. Oh, y'all were begging Tyla to come over here. Now you want to shame her. Nobody begging nothing. That's the delusion y'all have in y'all head. Y'all are delusional. That's the delusion y'all have in y'all head. You think somebody's after you. You think, oh, some Americans, they want to be like us now because of Tyla. Who? You don't knock it off. Let's continue.
And I hope she continues to remain an uppity African. I hope she never stops being an uppity African. Because me personally, I'm an uppity African. Bitch, be mad about that. Like what? Y'all are uppity Americans. Nobody says shit about that.
No, nobody, baby, because there's a difference between us and you. See, you're cosplaying right now as a Black American. You're trying to use our lingo, use our body language. You're trying to be a rapper in Ireland. You're a cosplayer. That's the difference. No one says anything to us because we're living within the culture we created. Big difference. Big difference. We're the originators of the culture. We're the originators of the lingo you're trying to use. We're the originators of that. You're the cosplayer. You're the great value version trying to walk around and act like you're authentic, and we see right through it, ma'am. You're the kid who comes to school and tries to act like they got money when you know they don't really have money. You dig? Y'all try to act like y'all have so much cultural capital, and you don't. And then when it's time for your people to just support your people, it falls flat because you have no cultural capital. We have the cultural capital. We are the ones who say what's cool and what's not cool. We're the ones who can live authentically within our culture and go viral and go global. Y'all can't do that. Y'all can't just come up with your own genre of music without biting off of us and just go global and international. You dig? And sustain that for decade after decade. Ain't talking about one-hit wonders. There's always going to be a one-hit wonder. There's always going to be somebody, a trend that pops up. You don't even know why it popped up and it just went viral. You dig? We're not new to this. We are true to this as Foundation of Black Americans. We've been doing this and innovating for decades. For decades. And that's why Tyla came over here. Because she said, damn it, if I can make it in America amongst Black Americans, I can make it anywhere and I'll be set for life. You dig? So yeah, we can be uppity when we want to. When we want to, because we have a cultural base. We have real cultural capital. We really have say so. Y'all don't. Ain't nobody checking for nobody in Ireland. You're in Ireland trying to sound like Glorilla. You dig? Trying to emulate FBA hood culture. Why you fucking on that nigga? Don't you got the emotions? Stop it. That ain't traditional African culture. That ain't traditional African lingo. And I'm sure your parents look at you and they are embarrassed because they're like, oh Lord, we did all this fleeing for you to come over here and act like an FBA hood rat. Lord. So don't speak on us, ma'am. We ain't the same. We cut from two totally different cloths. But let's continue.
Fuck. And
okay, now she did another video, family. You know, once they get a little attention on their video, they got to double up. Okay, they see a lot of Black Americans in the comment section, so they got to double up now. They gotta go out here and drop another video. So this is her second video now. She's gonna try to get really deep on this one. Let's listen.
Sean wanted to piss me off. Let's really wake it up. Let's really have a conversation now.
Okay.
I really do want to understand how a group of people, right, that doesn't even support their own artists, wants to sit on this app and every other app and claim that the reason why Tyler's mixtape or project, because it's not an album, get your facts right, flopped is.
It flopped. It flopped. Mixtape, album, I don't give a damn if you want to call it a CD. Okay, call it a book series. It flopped. Okay?
Because the American audience doesn't fuck with Tyla anymore. Let me just refresh our memory in case y'all forgot. My thing is, Coco Jones, she's been out for how long? Mind you, she's a Disney star, so she should have been up there. If you guys had all this power, y'all would have catapulted this girl's career up to a level that none of us have ever seen before.
Okay, family. Now, before I even address the Coco Jones talking point, let me just say this. Two things. These tethers, they're the kings and queens of bad faith comparisons. You always have to deal with these bad faith talking points. So what she's doing is, in order to get the attention off the fact that they didn't support Tyla, she's going to try to bring up some of our B-list or C-list artists that some of us has never even heard of before. You dig? And say, well, she thinks they're talented and she thinks they should be bigger. Okay, they should be bigger. And this is a proof that we as Black Americans don't support. Now, she's not going to lame anybody who's A-list. All right, because she can't do that, because that would be a more fair comparison, because Tyla is considered one of their A-list artists out of Africa and they're not supporting her. So what they have to do is they have to get their shovel and start digging through our B-list and C-list artists and say, well, they should be bigger. See, you're not supporting either. But they won't mention the Beyoncés who still touring. They won't mention the Kendrick Lamars. Hell, many of our elders are still touring. We got folks who came out in the 60s and 70s. Nigga, you got Earth, Wind, and Fire. You got War. You dig? You got our old school R&B artists. You got Keith Sweat and them still touring. Hell, you got Bow Wow still doing sold out Millennium tours. Okay? Frankie Beverly and Maze. Rest in peace to Frankie Beverly and Maze. He was touring into his last days. We support the hell out of our artists. But they always have to make a bad faith compare. They always got to go digging through the brush and give you an opinion of, oh, you supposed to be supporting these artists more. Now, many of these artists you probably never heard of that she's going to name. You dig? But even when she's doing that, I want you to understand this. Even though these are B-list and C-list artists, not from a talent perspective, but just from a notoriety perspective, we still support them as well, because if we didn't support them, how does she know them? Let's be clear. Over there in Africa, they're not discovering any of our talent because they will be signed to their record labels. They will be signed to their companies if they were discovering them. They know about our B-level and C-level artists because we even support them. Okay, we're the ones who say, hey, Coco Jones is very talented. Y'all need to check her out. She's next up. And so they like, oh, shit, let me get on the bandwagon early. See, the fact that she's going to name these folks is showing that we support them. Because if we didn't support them, you wouldn't even be talking about them, especially not in no damn Ireland. But with that being said, let's address Coco Jones. Now, she's talking about Coco Jones should be bigger and how we don't support Coco Jones. Let's be clear. Coco Jones' father, Mike Jones, was an NFL player, a former football player who's been supporting her from day one. Okay, Coco Jones went to the best schools, and because she went to the best schools, she was able to get in front of talents and talent execs like at Disney Channel, and that's how she started off. Okay, she started off on Disney Channel being supported by Black Americans, and we were cheering for her and we were rooting for her. She was in movies like Let It Shine. That was a culturally shaping movie. A lot of kids from that generation loved that movie. Now, that was a little bit after my generation, so I didn't really get into it like that. I was damn near already in high school at this point, so I wasn't watching no Disney Channel. You dig? While she was on that show, was invited to perform at things like the NAACP Image Awards and stuff like that. So we've always had that level of support. Okay? And even as she grew up, even as she got older, she was being put in movies and she was being supported. She was in the reboot of a FBA classic, which is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They just call it Bel-Air now. Okay. She was put in that show. She was given acting roles. You dig? She's received multiple BET awards, Black Entertainment TV Awards. That's directly showing the support of Black Americans for her. She's won several NAACP awards. Okay. Which is a direct correlation to how we support her. Coco Jones has even won a Grammy, I believe, for Best R&B Performance, which is largely due to support of Black Americans. Okay, let's be clear. We don't support Coco Jones. Coco Jones has always gotten support. Now, is she at the level of a Beyonce level of support? Of course not. She's new. She's 27 years old. Beyonce been in the game for decades. So, of course, Coco Jones is not going to be an A-list artist. See, I know that coming out the G League, y'all are used to rising up through the ranks. South Africa is the musical G League. It's easy to rise up through the ranks. Over here in the NBA, it takes time. You ain't just going to come into the NBA. You're not going to just come into Black American musical culture and just rise to the top with the quickness. But even though she doesn't get the Beyonce level support, she still gets a tremendous amount of love and loyalty from her fans. She does sold out shows now. Okay, this is from the Dallas Observer, a newspaper out there in Dallas, Texas. Okay, and this is on June 14, 2025. So this is just from a couple months ago. Coco Jones ate up the stage and her Dallas fans loved it. Singer, songwriter, and actress Coco Jones continues her Why Not More tour. She's on tour, but she doesn't get support. Okay. We don't support her. Okay. Tour giving her an all to a sold out Dallas crowd. All right. Sold out. This is our beautiful sister Coco Jones at a sold out Dallas show. All right. Here's another one. Here's another family from Billboard. This one's from May 15, 2025. This is from kind of earlier this summer. Coco Jones brings Why Not More to NYC. 5 best moments. All right. Why Not More debuts at number 59 on the Billboard 200 earlier this month. Okay, so her music is trending, it's charting. Grammy-winning R&B singer, songwriter Coco Jones brought the house down during her sold-out NYC stop on the Why Not More tour. Even in the middle of a rainstorm on a wet and windy Wednesday night, fans wrapped around the block in ponchos and hoodies, eager to witness the rising star's undeniable presence. Okay, I guess we don't support. These folks just be lying, family. So as you can see, we've been supporting our sister Coco Jones from day one. From childhood, she's been getting supported on Disney Channel, all the way up to acting, all the way up to her tours. You dig? I think she's touring out of the country now. We've made her such a big thing, and we support her so much that we've even given rise to her international fan base. Because you know, these folks only love who we love. We put folks on, and then they start trying to get on them too. You dig? Whatever Black Americans do, whatever Black Americans support, whoever we say or whoever we say is cool, that's who internationally people start supporting as well. So shout out to our beautiful sister Coco Jones. Remember, Coco Jones is probably considered a B-level artist over here. See, you get sold out tours, you get married to ballers when you a B-level artist over here. Let's be clear. You dig? Their B-level artists could never. You don't even know they're A-level artists many times. You don't know they're A-level artists until they come over here. Our B-level artists are doing international tours. They getting married to ball players. They've been getting money since they've been a little kid. You don't knock it off with this we don't support, but let's continue. Let's continue because she's got more.
Tinashe, the girl has been making music since I was a kid. Since I was 2-1 came out when I was a kid. She'd been making music since then, and her music is actually good. So it's not that she's not talented. She does have the talent. I just don't support her.
Okay, let's talk about this. Tinashe. I'm not gonna lie, family. I had to look up who Tinashe was. I've never heard of Tinashe. Like I say, this is probably a C-list artist. Okay, this is a C-list artist, and no disrespect, I'm just talking about notoriety wise, because being a C-list artist in America would be an A-list artist in South Africa. I want to be clear. That's just like saying that somebody who is the sixth man off the bench in the NBA would be a starter in many of these European leagues. All right. So I had to look up Tinashe, and this is what I discovered, family. Tinashe is a very talented singer. She's been singing since she was a child. She's been in things like Polar Express. So she's been getting money since she was a child. But here's the interesting thing about Tinashe. She's talking about the lack of support for Tinashe. Oh, we should be supporting her. Okay. Tinashe was born on February 6, 1993 in Lexington, Kentucky. Shout out to Lexington, Kentucky. Okay, a lot of FBAs in Kentucky. And is the eldest child of college professors Michael and Amini. Her father is a professor who teaches acting at California State. In a first-generation Zimbabwean immigrant of Shona descent, while her mother, who is Danish, is of Danish and Norwegian and Irish descent, teaches physical therapy at California State University in Northridge. Okay, family, this sister's not FBA. And why is that significant? I told you, family, these folks love to dump their failures on us. She's talking about, oh, y'all should have made her a superstar. And it's a reason why she picked that name. Because she wants to be able to say that African went over there and became a superstar in America. So she like, hey, Black Americans, make her a superstar. Why ain't you supporting Tinashe? You dig? She's not FBA. Why don't you go tell the folks in Zimbabwe to support her? Huh? Go tell the people in Norway to support her. That's her lineage. That's her family tree. You dig? Why is she dumping that on us? If you feel like she's a failure and she should be more seen and her talent should be more widely known, go tell the folks in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe should be doing their job of promoting her and making her widely known. Don't blame us. You dig? Blame her Norwegian fans. Okay? They need to do a better job of highlighting her talent. Don't put that on foundational Black Americans. No, ma'am. Let's continue.
You guys wanted Chloe Bailey and Halle Bailey to separate so bad, and when they finally did, y'all trashed their music. Y'all said that they were better off staying together, even though y'all forced them to basically separate. Y'all still don't support them girls till today.
Ma'am, stop capping. The reason Halle and Chloe Bailey are even known today is because Black American support. Remember, Chloe and Halle Bailey, they started off singing on YouTube as little kids. It was our good FBA sister, Beyonce, who caught wind of it. And she said, damn, these little beautiful girls, they're talented. My little FBA sisters, they're talented. Let me bring them up. She signed them to $1 million deal with her recording company. They were millionaires by the age of like 13, 14 years old. Hell, the reason why they got such a foothold in the game because of the cosign of Beyonce and the foundational Black support that came with that. Miss me with that. What our sister Halle and Chloe Bailey, they're suffering from right now is, since they've been known as a kid, similar to kind of like Coco Jones, they were on Disney Channel shows. I believe they were in the movie Let It Shine as well. They're trying to grow into their adulthood. Okay, they're trying to change their musical style, X, Y, and Z. You dig? Because they can't sing about little kid stuff anymore. They're grown. Their fans are grown now. You dig? So they have to ease into it. So they've been kind of, going through a little trials and tribulations. They're putting out music. A lot of people really not feeling the music like that anymore, especially from Chloe. Halle's kind of more doing her acting thing. She was in Little Mermaid. She's a big time actor now. She's at least a B-list actor at this point. Always trying to find her musical sound again. And then that last Chloe album, one of the reasons why that album flopped as well with the first one is because, again, she's trying to do a little too much. She was trying to do Afro fusion and Afro beats in her last album. Everybody's like, you dig? Because that ain't really the culture over here. You dig? So she was trying to hop on that wave, and that just didn't go well. But our sisters are going to be fine. Our sisters, the only reason they're at the level they're at is because of Black American support.
Flo Milli, Normani, y'all beg Normani to drop music. She drops an album, flops because y'all don't stream music. We know that. Baby Tate, just to name a few. There's so many Black artists that are making music in America, good music at that y'all don't stream. Yeah, y'all spend all your time and energy hating on African artists that y'all apparently don't like and don't listen to. What?
Lord. And again, I don't know any of the artists that she just named. What she say? Baby Tate, Flo Milli, and some Nari something like that. But again, these folks are obviously getting a level of support because you know them. Again, I want to be clear, family. These folks in the diaspora, they get on who we're on. So the fact that they know our B-list and C-list artists that many of us never even heard of before is because some Black Americans are supporting them. Let's be clear. Some Black Americans are supporting them. That's why they know them. They're not discovering. She's in Ireland. She ain't discovering no talent over there. They ain't discovering no talent in Black America, in Africa. They're watching who we're supporting, even on a grassroots level, even if it's just a small niche of us. And then they're saying, oh, damn, this girl is really talented. Let me support them. Let me support them, family. So again, a lot of this is bad faith comparisons. A lot of this is rooted in bad faith. She's trying to name random C-list artists and trying to act like, oh, this is proof we don't support. But the fact that she even knows these people is proof we do support. You dig? See, y'all don't support. I can't name no B-list and C-list artists in South Africa. We've never heard of them. I can't name some people. I could try to bring up some examples, but I would have to do a deep dive research. We never heard of these folks because y'all don't support them. And y'all have the numbers to support them. You got 1.1 billion people on the continent. We should have heard these people's names. They shouldn't have to come to America for us to know who they are and then drop a mainstream big hit record. Okay? And then she's back gaslighting at the end, talking about will you be hating on Africans again? There's nothing to hate on. We're hating on a flop. We want a flop too. What? We're hating on somebody who dropped one mainstream hit. What are we hating on? You're trying to get over here with us. You're trying to emulate Black American success. You're trying to get the Black American audience. Tyla speaking. But we're hating on you. Stop the cap, man.
If you guys really had all this power, if you guys really do have all this power, I want you guys to make Victoria Monet. Victoria Monet is even out of the conversation a little bit because she just started getting recognition. But for
She thought about it. She said, well, they did kind of make her pop. So she thought she had to take that back real quick because I was going to cook on that point if she let that slide.
For her to get to this level of recognition, she's been putting in work for God knows how many years. And she just got a Grammy. And y'all mean to tell me that y'all are the same fan base that supports people?
Yes, ma'am, because she eventually popped. That's proof of that. Proof of we support is the fact that she did pop and she did win a Grammy. Ma'am, what are you talking about? She didn't win no Grammy because of y'all. Victoria Monet didn't win no Grammy because of the support in Africa, because of the support of tethers like you in Ireland. She won because the overwhelming amount of support of Black Americans. You dig? See, one thing that tethers really struggle with, one thing that really irks them about foundational Black Americans, because she's talking about, oh, she was in the game for decades, is our resiliency and our consistency, family. See, we don't have a culture of instant gratification. You dig? The root of our culture is resiliency and consistency. The fact that we're able to stick with things decade upon decade, century after century. You dig? The fact that it was foundational Black Americans in 1526 that as soon as they got off that boat, started rebellion, started rioting. It was the Yamasee who were fighting the British in South Carolina. It was Colonial Ty and the Black Brigade fleeing plantations. It was Fort Negro. We have centuries upon centuries of rebellions that eventually led to our freedom during the Civil War. And so, with some of those color regiments and Black Americans fighting. That took 200 years of fighting. It wasn't just the Civil War. We have been fighting and fighting and fighting. It took decades during the Civil Rights Movement of people marching, people going to war, brothers going underground, the Black Panthers and the Black Liberation Army and RAM, Revolutionary Action Committee. It took the Death Angels. It took brothers going underground, blowing up police stations, shooting police officers, going to war. It took the Assata Shakurs. It took all of us, decade after decade, in order for us to finally see those civil rights that we were fighting for. And that's in FBA blood. See, in our blood is to continue going. So yes, it took our sister Victoria Monet decades to finally pop and win that Grammy. But we knew she was going to pop because part of our culture is resiliency and consistency, family. And during that whole time, I'm sure Victoria Monet will tell you she had plenty of Black American supporters. They're the ones who keep stumping and saying, hey, man, y'all need to listen to her music. Hey, man, she's next up. She's talented. It's that loyal base. Everybody she named, I'm sure they would tell you they have Black American supporters, people who ride for them, people who show up every show, people who are always in their comment section, people who are always reposting their videos. They have a support base. It's not like these folks, for decades, she didn't have any type of support. And then people just randomly popped up and started supporting her. No, her support base started off small and it kept growing and kept growing and kept growing and kept growing, where eventually the majors couldn't avoid her. Eventually, every song she put out started to pop. You dig? Just like me, for example, family. I came into consciousness in 2014. One of the things that got me into consciousness was watching the film I saw on bootleg version of Hidden Colors, produced by Tinashe. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go see that movie. That movie changed my life. I was in college. I had just tore my ACL playing football. You dig? I was out hurt. I had never been hurt before. I couldn't practice with the team, X, Y, and Z. You dig? But when I saw Hidden Colors, I realized that I was bigger than football, family. I was bigger than football. And from that day forward, I said, man, one day I want to get so conscious that I'm able to be in Hidden Colors. That was my goal. From 2014, it took all the way up to 2025, 2026 to recall me this year to put me in the new Hidden Colors. It took 11 years for me to get in Hidden Colors, family. Hidden Colors 4 had dropped. Hidden Colors 5 had dropped. I didn't get the call. Other documentaries that other brothers and sisters produced, I didn't get the call. I never got mad. I never got angry. I never said, hey, man, ain't nobody supporting me. No, people supported me along the way, but my support kept growing, just like this page is growing. We started this page off with 100 subscribers. 100 subscribers. That first 100, now we at 20,000. I've always had support. Y'all always been supporting me since day one. When I became conscious in 2014, my mother and father supported me. You dig? My friends supported me. And then as I kept dropping knowledge, I kept growing. I started publishing books. I got 19 published books now. The support kept growing. I gained hundreds of thousands of followers on social media. The support kept growing. It didn't come overnight. It's a reason why in 3 months we've been able to take this page from 100 subscribers to 20,000, because the support keeps growing. I had a base. You dig? And just because I wasn't in Hidden Colors 4 and Hidden Colors 5 doesn't mean I didn't have support. No, it takes time. It takes consistency. Sometimes it's just about proving to the universe that you're worthy of it. And part of being worthy is staying consistent. And that's what tethers don't understand. Because the moment they run across any trials, any tribulations, they flee. The country not doing good, let's go to Ireland. Ireland not doing good, let's go to Norway. Norway not doing good, let's go to Sweden. Sweden not going good, let's go to the United States. They flee, flee, flee. They have no resiliency, and that's why they get mad at us. That's why they get mad at us. Oh, well, if you had power, she would have popped sooner. No. Sometimes it's about universal timing. You dig? And one thing about Foundational Black Americans, we're going to stick with our people along the journey. You dig? We're going to stick with our people along the journey, but that really bothers them. But we know if we stick it out, FBAs, we're going to see our way to the top. That's why we're going to get them reparations, because we're consistent. That's part of our culture, resiliency. We don't settle. Just like our sister Victoria Monet, she didn't settle. She started off as a writer, I believe. Similar to our brother 2 Chainz. They started off writing for people. You dig? They weren't even on the scene. They weren't even singing the songs. But they got their foot in the door. And like I said, it eventually paid off because they were consistent, they were resilient, and so were their supporters.
And another thing, before you guys got a hold of all our African artists, we were already streaming and listening to them. Y'all are the only people that are chart obsessed, and y'all are the only people that think that the charts determine how good of an artist you are, when the rest of the world knows that that's not how it works.
Ma'am, you just spent the last minute talking about how Coco Jones should be bigger. Huh? Chloe and Halle Bailey flopped. Their album flopped. Now all of a sudden numbers don't matter. This is the mindset of a tether. Tethers are the definition of hypocrites. You dig? Numbers don't matter when the numbers aren't in their favor. When the numbers are in their favor, the numbers matter. We're the only people that chart us. You just spent the whole time talking about how all these artists, we don't support them because they would be bigger number-wise. You dig? Chloe Bailey's album would have flopped. I thought numbers didn't matter. I thought charts didn't matter. So now you can use numbers as a measuring stick now of support. But then when we look at y'all numbers, because she's saying that because their artists never pop over there. Their artists don't really do numbers like that globally until they go international, and especially until they come over here. So now that's not a measurement of support. If you don't knock it off, stop it. Make up your mind, man. Make up your mind. Do numbers matter or do they not matter? If they don't matter, you shouldn't have said none of that stuff about Coco Jones. What was the other girl name from your country? Tinashe, all that type of stuff. You were basing that off their numbers. You were basing that off their metrics, their notoriety, how many followers and X, Y, and Z they have. So obviously they matters. They just don't matter when we're using it to critique y'all and the level of support that y'all have for y'all actual artists. But let's continue.
We Africans enjoy music because it makes us feel good, it makes us dance, and it's a vibe. That's why we listen to music for. Before Burna Boy was known by any of y'all, he was already Burna Boy in our country. In our countries. In Nigeria, Congo, whatever place you go, best believe they probably most likely know this man. Mm-hmm. Before y'all knew about Wizkid, before Justin Bieber touched that track, we knew who Wizkid was. We've been listening and streaming and dancing to his music since we were kids. We grew up with him. Before y'all got a hold of Tyla, we knew about her already. So you guys don't discover shit. Y'all literally are the same as the colonizers that enslaved all of us. You guys come, try and be part of something, and once it doesn't fit your narrative in the slightest, y'all flip the script and demonize that thing, person, or place. Y'all need to change.
And that's the end, family. Let's go ahead and straighten out the last section. You're talking about before, the number one, you're talking about before, before you knew Burna Boy, before you knew Wizkid, before you knew Tyla, we were already supporting them. Then why didn't we know them? Why didn't we know them, Queen? You did? Because you just spent the other minutes talking about how, Coco Jones should be more widely known. That's showing that y'all don't support him. Tinashe should be more widely known. That's showing y'all don't support him. Okay, why the hell didn't we know who Burna Boy was? Why the hell didn't we know who Wizkid was? Why the hell didn't we know who Tyla was until they got over here? If you were doing all this support, you had so much support. Because let's be clear, we're 43 million. So if you're going to hold 43 million responsible for making people widely known, we damn sure going to hold 1.1 billion. That's how many people on the continent. You said our countries. Okay, well, damn. Why aren't these people known? Because you don't support them. I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. You listen to them, but you don't actually support them. You listen to them, you don't actually support them because you really have nothing to support with, ma'am. Y'all don't really have no big streaming platforms over there. Y'all don't have no big social media over there. Nobody's checking for y'all. That's the reality. And support with financially, family. Well, what? Remember, a third of the damn continent is in extreme poverty. What are you supporting with? Let's go there. Since we're the colonizer, hell, let's just go there. What are you supporting with? Huh? Many of your countries don't even have stable electricity on a mass level. You dig? Roads ain't paved over there. Support with what? You ain't supporting nothing. That's why when we see your artists, y'all artists can't wait to get the hell on. They can't wait to get to America. They can't wait. Your artists sit around and wait. They pray every night. Man, let me just collaborate with an American. Oh, that's the real calling card, family. They want to collaborate with America. And that's why when we see your artists for the first time, nothing about them screams African. It screams an American. It screams cosplaying. When you see Burna Boy and Wizkid and Davido or Davido, we don't even be knowing how to pronounce Buddy's name. Shout out to him, but we don't even know how to pronounce his name. You dig? They be looking like the fourth member of the Migos. Chains on their neck, grill in their mouth, do-rag on. Burna Boy got Tim's on. Y'all doing this. You're cosplaying and trying to be like us. That's the real calling card. The real calling card is to sit over there and work on your cosplaying. And let's even go to the music. Like I've always brought up, family, Afro Beats is a spinoff of Afro Beat, which was started by Fela Kuti. Fela Kuti was inspired to create that by listening to American jazz. He used our elements of music to create that. That ain't even really traditional African culture. It's damn R&B and jazz with a damn accent. Let's call a spade a spade. And I salute Fela Kuti because he gave credit to us for that. And then in 2010, the 2010s, y'all put an S on it and tried to act like it was something different. Oh, well, it's not Afrobeat, it's Afro Beats. Huh? That's why when we see your artists, they're emulating us. They're trying to dress like us. They're trying to use our lingo. You're an example of that. You dig? We're the colonizers, but you're sitting over there in Ireland, rapping, trying to use foundational Black American lingo and culture in order to get your rap career going out there in Ireland. Stop it. We're the colonizers while you colonize us and then turn around and talk shit on us. We don't support, but yet you chose to base your musical career off of hip hop. The thing we created but we don't support. Huh? Like I said, folks, family, these folks are delusional. They always supporting folks, but they always running over here. They supporting Tyla, but she flopping. Make it make sense, family. Make it make sense. Oh, we been knew about them. Then why she flopping? You been knew about them. Because you ain't supporting. You just listening. But it's your brother Chase. I hope you enjoyed the video, family. I hope it wasn't too long. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think, what we can add to it, what you agree about or what you disagree about. But until next time, y'all know what it is. Click that link in the bio and get your copy of the 500 Amazing Facts About the Negro Volume 1 and 2 that offers special insight into foundational Black Americans to let you know how phenomenal of a people we are. And until next time, y'all know what it is, man. Peace and Black power. I'm out.